Hello all, welcome to Sand Compounding. There is a term called circle of competence. This is a term coined by legendary investor Warren Buffett and Charlie Munger. And they say it's not the size of the circle or it's not the circumference of the circle that's important, but rather the power of knowledge within that circle or the competence within the circle which is important. And they tend to think that smaller the circle, better advantage for investors. And it's a very counterintuitive concept because generally we tend to try to increase the circle of competence by reading more and trying to learn. But in investing, it acts against. It is important to have a smaller circle, but being a master and have the strongest competence in that circle, because it helps us to understand the businesses really well. And as Warren Buffett and Charlie Munger says, they don't invest in businesses they do not understand. So it's very important to invest in businesses that we understand, and we need to find our own circle of competence. And how to do that is, typically we tend to be working in certain industries which tends to be natural intrinsic competitive advantage that we have in understanding that business. And there are other businesses we tend to understand easily. There are some technological businesses we do not understand, whereas if I take I understand technology businesses very well because I'm from the technology industry. So you need to find your circle of competence and act in that circle. It's a good concept to understand. Here's a video where Warren Buffett talks about the circle of competence. Take a look.
I believe very strongly in operating with what I call my circle of competence. And the most important thing in terms of your circle of competence is not how large the area of it is, it's how well you've defined the perimeter. If you know where the edges are, you're way better off than somebody that's got one that's 5 times as large, but they get very fuzzy about the edge, around the edges. And I can understand some kinds of simple businesses. I can't understand complicated businesses.